lot of those were done at your first franchise, the Royal Oak.
Yeah.
That's really when you guys became owners and became involved in the Royal Oak pubs. It really was an opportunity for you to either be selfish and just bring money in and, you know, or to say, we've got a great venue.
Right.
Let's use it to be able to give back to the areas that need it.
And every year at the championship weekend at McKinney, first weekend of April, they always write a check to a charity or not-for-profit. And once they heard about that, they got involved immediately and said, this is the one.
Yeah.
And good on them.
Yeah, oh, it was fantastic. I remember one of the highlights for me that particular night, because I know how difficult it was.
While we have you two here, we just want to thank you because you guys have been so generous. I mean, $100 gift card is not that big of a deal, and we've been appreciating the advertising throughout the multiple episodes, and it's pretty cool because we typically watch Mondays after I get home from council.
You do.
And we love it. It's tradition, and to see our logo up on the podcast, it's special.
Well, kiddo.
Hey, we're here.
Check out our table.
Oh, man.
Don't even talk to me right
one.
now.
Holy smokes, it's not just one. There's
talk
two
to
extra
me.
people here. What's going on there?
I mean, I'm so excited right now. I mean, I have to introduce some people here that are so dear, so lovely, and mean an incredible amount to me. We've got Matt. We've got Kyla. Thank you. The owners of the Oak and Ale. What is happening?
Well, T, it's a great pleasure to be here. It really is. Watching this podcast journey has been spectacular. Seeing the growth through 13 episodes up to this point. And it truly is an honor to be here with you in Austin and on this Laughing Through Life podcast.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you coming in. We know you guys are very busy people, so we appreciate you finding time in your schedules to make room for our little thing we've got going on.
And you know
here.
what? I think that's really important to bring out, everybody, is yes, thank you for giving us their time. Not only are you guys the owners of new independent Oak and Ale, 2 franchises. We'll get in and we'll talk to them a little bit more about that.
Oh, we'll get there.
You also are the counselor for West Ward Whitby, which keeps you extremely busy. So we're very grateful that we were able to snag a little bit of time to have you both here. How do you both feel about being here? Kyla?
I'm nervous. We discussed this before the cameras came on.
Yeah, it is a bit.
It is. It's a little... Yeah. I was a little apprehensive. I was a little clammy-handed on the way here, but it's definitely
but you
really
look
neat
great,
to
kid.
right back at you, T.
Yeah,
For all the
thank you.
viewers, I will say this. It is a little different being here in person than watching it on YouTube, but it's also a pleasure. You got a great studio here. You got a great producer, and you guys make us feel right at home.
Oh, good,
glad to hear
good. So, I mean, I would be amiss.
Yes.
I mean, let's start with the cheers, everybody. Cheers. Good old Canadian. Cheers. Thank you for being
Glad
here.
to have you here.
Okay, now with that, let's get real. Let's get into this.
This season of This Crazy Life Well, this season of This Crazy Life podcast is being powered by Angelo's Butcher Shop. Mom, what can you tell us about them?
That's amazing. Angelo's Butcher Shop. Listen, who doesn't like a good steak?
Oh, we do.
It's patio season. Let's bring it, right?
Yeah.
What an incredible butcher Angelo is. He's located on Brock Street in Whitby under the Bellinata restaurant. You name it, he's got it. Everything you can imagine, he produces. Incredible quality. Austin, we get our
Almost all of our meat we've been getting from
Angelo
him for years.
And a huge shout out. We are so honored to be featuring you, Angelo, on our podcast. And thank you for powering us for season 2.
Season 2.
Angelo's Butcher Shop. We're going to have all the information below, right here. Reach out to him. You will not be disappointed. Can you believe it?
No, I cannot. It's a big deal. Thank you very much once again, Angelo.
Fantastic place.
For powering this season.
Yeah. So you know what, kid?
What?
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Now, I have to tell everybody, as I've got beer dripping down my
Me too.
I have to tell everybody that you and I became friends, when the Oak North opened. Are we at 12 years?
I would say that when the first Oak opened in 2010, we didn't know each other that well. It was more so when
2010.
The South location opened 2012.
Yeah, it grew.
And
we were there for the opening, yeah.
I think I was a little bit more loose to get to know people and create friendships, whereas the first 2 years I spent all the time working and cooking and just trying to make it work so we didn't fail.
Right.
But certainly, 2012, we became great friends, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like that very first night where the Royal Oak back then in South Whitby opened. We were there for the opening night.
Yeah.
And you were out there personally, like making sure we were all doing okay, that everyone was having a good time, that people were enjoying their meals. Like, you were all out for that.
Yeah, it was good. You guys really are incredible at what you do. Which is a testament to the fact that you've now been able to open. So maybe why don't we start right into that before we get into all the warm and fuzzy stuff, like where I start crying. Why don't you guys talk about your vision that you had, and what was it that started you down the path of going, okay, we've been with a franchise, now we've got bigger dreams?
It kind of happened very organically. In October of 2023, a bar group came by and asked us if we would like to sell to them. And we said, we're not for sale.
Yeah.
And they said, well, would you listen to an offer? And we said, well, sure, we'll listen. So about 6 weeks of back and forth and sharing information. And we said, thanks, but no thanks. And we went on our way. And we realized that with the lean months through the winter time, we didn't have enough capital to get through the winter, unfortunately. Yeah. So our partners in Ottawa did not want to invest fresh capital to help us get through. So we said, well, that's okay, but we don't want these things to go under. So we are prepared to put in fresh capital to get through the winter. And that's where, Kyla, who's always been a huge part of my life, and certainly through the Oak and Ale, the support she's given me, she said, well, I can help with that. Yeah. And you did.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Him and his folks, as you know, they were partners with the folks in Ottawa. They're business partners in Ottawa, and did a really great job for 15 years. And after 15 years of success between that group, I had the opportunity to come in, and it's been a blast. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of learning. It's been
right back to the basics again,
but
right?
Fun learning. Things that you can take pride in because you
should.
Absolutely.
So having that fresh capital going into Christmas time, we said, okay, well, why don't we make you an offer, Ottawa partners? And they said, okay, no problem. And they were very great about it. I have to say that through the 60 days of transitioning from the Royal Oak to the Oak and Ale, our business partners of 15 years were absolutely phenomenal. And they still continue to support us through this day because some of our vendors are still communicating to them. Yeah. And they're absolutely upfront saying, okay, here's what we need you to do. Here's what the vendor needs you to do over to you. Yeah. And we get through it. So the transition is pretty much 100% complete. But our partners in Ottawa are fantastic, and we respect that.
Right. And we were there on your opening, your launch, I guess, your official launch. And I got to tell you, I mean, it was packed. Standing room only.
I was supposed to get you guys a seat. That was one of my jobs that day.
I wasn't going to say that.
She wasn't going to go there.
I wasn't going to go there.
Absolutely. I'll take care of it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. But it was an incredible response to your official launch. When I say standing room only, everybody, I mean there was not a seat left in the house. Band was playing fantastic.
Great music,
everybody was so glad to be there that night. Austin, shall I tell them what happened to you and I that night?
Go for it.
Our first fan, or as we want to call them, crazy lifers,
We'll get to
approached us that night.
No.
Remember?
Yeah.
Somebody came up from the bar and they were like, "Are you Tara?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." I'm thinking, do I know her in real estate? Like, I'm
Yeah,
no
of
word of a
course.
lie.
Right,
No
yeah.
word of a lie. I'm like, oh my God, is this a client that I've forgotten? Not that I forget my clients, but I don't.
Disclaimer.
Don't talk to me right now.
Shout out Tara Lee Real Estate.
Shout out Tara Lee Real Estate Group. Yeah. So she comes up and I said, "Yeah, I am." And I said, "I'm sorry. Do I know you?" And she goes, "I watch your podcast every week."
I love
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Can I hug you right now?"
She had been watching your reels and saw you post a reel of us at the Oak and Ale. And she was like, "Oh, she's here."
Yeah.
And tracked you down.
So I might have to go there more often.
I think you should.
Maybe.
Just for
Yeah.
the sake of maybe we'll get recognized again.
Great
Like we're
idea.
some big
Oh,
wig.
you never told us that.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that it
isn't
happened
cool?
that night too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it did.
I know. Oh, made my day. Made my day. I really did want to take her picture and post it and go.
And see, if
Our
you guys
first
were sitting
lifer.
at a table in a reservation in a booth, she might not have seen you.
Exactly.
Had I been
It
able
was
to follow
we
through
owe
with the
you
reservation, you might not have had that fan moment.
Welcome to my life, guys.
This is why we love our Kyla. Exactly. So, you guys, when it came to the menu and everything, did you kind of put your heads together and start thinking about what you want on it, what you don't want on it?
The menu is kind of threefold. The first was we recognized that after 12 to 13 years of kind of the same, we needed to change it. Part two was going to our executive chef, Haley McLeod, who's absolutely fantastic.
She is.
Arguably the best worker and friend we've ever had at the Oak, both of them. And then third and final, this is where Kyla comes in big time, was we needed to do some fun and clever wordsmithing. So instead of appetizers, we were going to do snack attack. Instead of
Right.
plain burger, we're going to do the OG and
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera. And Kyla, could you speak a little bit about that naming that you did?
It was maybe the most fun job I've had in hospitality. It was a lengthy job. Haley, like Matt said, is a phenomenal talent in the kitchen.
Yep.
The recipes she's created are fantastic. I mean, there's traditional pub fare that you're used to seeing when you come into bars, but she's also gotten creative. There's a lot of scratch cooking, batch recipes, things that we were excited to get behind. We love trying everything. We love tasting everything. But the naming part of it, we just, we had some fun with it. We go back and forth, throw some ideas. Matt would thumbs up it. Matt would thumbs down it. We each got a few vetoes. So if you really like something but I didn't like it, I'd veto
Of course,
it.
yeah, it's a tough job, honestly.
No, but it's, you guys have seen it. It's a lengthy document.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a lot
big.
on
It's
it.
got a lot, yeah.
And then the descriptions too. We didn't want to just be like ingredients. We wanted to play it up, romance it a little bit. So
Yeah, have
we
a
had a lot of
little
fun
bit of
doing
flair
it.
with it, which I think is something that people will appreciate when they go to a restaurant. There is more I want to ask you about regarding the Oak and Ale and your time in service, but we do actually have a little bit of business to take care of regarding a
it's
certain
pretty fun
giveaway we've
business.
got going on.
Oh, what could this be?
I mean, we got Father's Day coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Think it
I
is.
mean, let's be real.
Yep.
Who doesn't want on Father's Day to be sitting on a patio, having a beer, having a pint? Well, this isn't a pint, is it?
It's still a beer time.
Okay, that.
It's a drink. It's a drink.
It's what we
a
got.
drink.
Oops.
So
Yeah, let's do
thankfully,
it.
we've had a few very generous likers, commenters, subscribers, lifers who have
Crazy Lifers
who have
is what
been-
we're calling our
who've
community
been posting
group.
on our
I love it.
videos as we've had this little giveaway, all fighting for the chance to have the greatest gift of all on Father's Day, a chance to
I
not
think
spend
so.
money.
I think so.
What we've done
I mean,
is
here's
we've
our
got the
gift card.
here.
Here's our gift card, everybody. $100 gift certificate to the Oak and Ale. 2 locations in Whitby. We've got North End at Taunton. We've got South End at Victoria.
Yep.
Let's do the draw. Is Matt or Kyla going to pull the name?
We've got all the names here in this little hat, courtesy of my brother, Andrew. Thank you once again.
Yes, yeah. I've
Yep.
yet to see you wear it. It's a good hat, man.
Well, I wore it when we were watching the Leafs and playoffs in Boston.
Booze.
Didn't get to wear it for that long.
No. No. Okay.
All right. So without
Drum
further
roll.
ado-
Maybe we'll insert a drum roll here. Okay, let Matt pull.
All right.
Hey, thank you.
Okay.
There's lots of people in here.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of names.
People were excited.
Thank you
All right.
to everybody for that. Who's our winner?
And the lucky winner is Little Chimmy.
Little
Chimmy.
Little
Thank-
Chimmy.
Congratulations.
All right, the Oak and Ale.
We'll be reaching out to you to get more information, but congratulations.
You know what?
Spelling like that.
I'm feeling a little generous.
You got more, Tara.
I'm feeling
Is there more?
How generous.
it's a good day today, Austin.
Really?
I think
Why's
we do
that?
a second draw. I think
so.
we've got a lot of people in here. Let's do a second draw for a $50 Amazon card.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Are you guys on
realize
board?
that was not in my podcast contract.
Some of our viewers do not live near the Oak and Ale, so let's make it
do it.
real.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
All right, one
All
more,
right.
one more.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And the winner is Connect the Do 59705.
Connect dot. Connect the dot.
It's missing the T.
Wow.
Connect the Do.
All
I
right.
think it might be a 7 instead of a T.
There's our winner.
All right,
Congratulations.
congratulations.
We will contact you. Do you have the other one as well?
I think
Our
it
other
was-
winner?
It may have blown
Okay,
over
Little
there,
Chimney?
but
Chimmy, we got
yep,
him.
Little
Chimney.
Chimmy.
I'm
Little
saying
Chimmy,
chimney.
connect the dots.
Oh, I'm so
Thank
excited.
you very much.
All right.
for
This
entering.
is great.
And while we have you two here, we just want to thank you because you guys have been so generous. I mean, a $100 gift card is not that big of a deal. And we've been appreciating the advertising throughout the multiple episodes. And it's pretty cool because we typically watch Mondays after I get home from council.
You do.
And we love it. It's tradition. And to see our logo up on the podcast, it's special.
Oh, thank you.
100%.
You know, I think when Austin and I were talking originally about having you guys on, and you know what? You really are our first guest. Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah.
This really is not about us. This is about making people smile, bringing warmth into people's lives. And I really said right from the get-go that, you know, we all do a lot for each other. That's just what humanity is all about. But you guys have been such a supporter, not only of this podcast, but of me and my journeys, my sons and their journeys, and my family. So this today really is about giving back to the two of you.
T, I'll just say it's easy to support the people you care about. And we
Well-
equally care as much about you and your family and Austin and,
Yeah.
and Boogie and Nicole.
Don't forget Nicole.
and
our sweet Nicole.
And you've
Yeah.
included us in so much. You know, your
Yeah.
real estate gala, every winter we get invited to. It's a privilege to
Yes,
go.
Your family.
Yeah, anything that you think we would like to be included in, Blue Jay games, etc. You've always included us. So
Yep.
we as much as you say thanks to us and it matters, I'm going to say right back to you.
Oh, well, that's why we're family, right? So, Austin, I know you had a couple of things that you wanted to share.
Right. Well, sort of what I was thinking of is, I mean, like we said, you guys have been through us through a lot. One of the ones that first comes to mind is back when your Uncle Rick, who lived in Oshawa, his house had a vicious fire, burned down.
Yes.
A lot
Yeah.
was lost in it. It was a big deal
Everything.
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys stepped up, like you held a massive fundraiser for them, multiple fundraisers if I remember right, but
did.
yes.
You
yeah,
did.
so that was huge for us, and
Yeah. That was just one thing.
yeah, that was just
We
one.
did, my aunt and uncle had a fire in the night. It was on February 17th, probably about 12 years ago, maybe. And they lost their entire house. And, you know, he was my father, really. So, you know, my call was to Matt. Matt's like, we got to do something. And that's where I think our first fundraiser was at the South Oak. We did that. You graciously helped with the food. We had a lot in attendance. And then Matt got the Whippy men's hockey team involved.
Yeah.
And then at McKinney, Wasn't it? There was another fundraiser for them, and my aunt and uncle were blown away. Yeah. They didn't even have a toothbrush. You know?
Yeah, shout out Whippy Men's Hockey League. You're absolutely right. When they learned of the situation with your Uncle Rick, it was a no-brainer. And every year at the championship weekend at McKinney, first weekend of April, they always write a check to a charity or not-for-profit. And once they heard about that, they got involved immediately and said, this is the one.
Yeah.
And good on them.
Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic. I remember one of the highlights for me that particular night, because I know how difficult it was. The Andrews family, we're a family, we're very well known of not asking for help. Like, we deal. Right. Right. Yeah. And we don't like anybody knowing. Anyways, it's a whole thing with us. And they had nothing, not a toothbrush, not a brush, not a shoe. My aunt and uncle jumped out of their bedroom window. Yep. In order to survive. And he was on a ventilator for 4 days. We weren't sure he was going to make it. So for the money that we collected, I remember at McKinney, because they did it before the kind of end of the night party started.
That was a smart move.
Yeah, it was very smart. It's very true. I remember Rick getting on the mic, and whatever money was collected, it was a few thousand. It wasn't, $100,000, but it was a few thousand.
It was a good response, yeah.
And I remember him saying, and this will always resonate with me, and I think for all of us, when you don't even have a toothbrush, and they were not wealthy people, this wasn't millionaires with stuff in the bank, $5 is like 1 million to us. You have no idea how much this means. And I remember watching him, and all of us just had tears, because that's the reality of what's out there today with people suffering and having, right? So thank you for that. That is because of you.
Well, again, as much as you thank me, I'm going to thank you back. And
this is a ping pong, isn't it? Right back at you.
Oh, we're not letting you off the hook, man. We got more. We
got more.
In preparing for being here and the podcast, and again, thank you for having us. I went over, I rewatched the 13 episodes. I looked at my Facebook, and I looked at it, Tara, like all the fundraising we've done at the Oak.
So many.
Over 14 years. We've given back over $150,000 to the Whitby community. And I'm quickly...
Has it been that much?
That much. And you have been instrumental. You've done every 50-50 for us.
I do love it, Matt.
You've helped us get prizes into the silent auction prizes.
Yep.
You've helped us source great bands. And very quickly, and I didn't even need to go through the Facebook. Hearts of Durham, Epilepsy Durham, Hearth Place, Wounded Warriors Canada, Rotary, Children's Age, Community Care Durham, Whitby Fire, Police Memorial Fund, Salvation Army, 24/7 Math and Basketball Camp, Canadian Cancer Society. Like that was just without even really reviewing things. That was just off the top of my head.
And some of them I'd forgotten about.
Well, we're getting older, right? Yeah. But you deserve the praise for that, because the 50-50s alone would have brought in, over all those, anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000. And that's you.
Yeah, you work.
Well, I work it.
You work it.
You put your all into
I've created a system, let me tell you.
You're awesome.
But you know what? But let's be real. Let's be real. We're sitting in a table right now, or in a room right now, with people that aren't takers, they're givers. And really, even though a lot of those were done at your first franchise, the Royal Oak, that's really when you guys became owners and became involved in the Royal Oak pubs. It really was an opportunity for you to either be selfish and just bring money in, and or to say, we've got a great venue, let's use it to be able to give back to the areas that need it.
I learned that from my dad. Growing up, my dad was 35 years at Labatt Breweries. At one point, he ran the province from the sales department perspective. And every weekend, or at least half of the weekends, we were out at community events. And I would see him, on behalf of Labatt, writing a check to some group. And it really sat with me. And then when I opened up the first business, I guess when my family opened up the first business in the community, a community that has given me so much, playing hockey here, growing up, and I love it here. And it seemed like the right thing to do. And I fought the need or I fought the thought of worrying about paying the rent.
Right.
And I realized the balance could be delivered upon of paying the rent, but also giving back to the community. And then, of course, as time went on, I found the best path to do that. And it's been great. But there was originally, when we opened that thought of, we got to pay the rent. We shouldn't be worried so much about this. But then we found out we could handle both of it, and we did.
You can do both. And correct me if I'm wrong, do you guys not now have different charity organizations that will reach out to you now and say, can you host A or B, right? Because I think it's now well known that, whether it was the previous Oak or the Oak and Ale, it really is the two of you operating for the community, right? Do you have anything coming up?
I mean, there's lots in the pipeline. We've got lots of hockey teams who have reached out for team sponsorship.
Yeah.
We have got, what else do we have going on? This has been in the past, but we also hosted nights for, what was Juveria?
Yes.
Oh,
not so much
Our
a
Jeopardy
charitable
queen
thing, but it's community support. We
I
had a
love that.
lovely, lovely woman, a local lady who got farther than I could ever imagine getting on
right.
Jeopardy.
It's true though.
And she was kind enough to reach out to us. Her brother had reached out years before when it was the Royal Oak. Omar, he was on Survivor. And again, got super far, and they were doing watch parties.
That
at
was
the
her
pub.
brother?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Bananas.
And from a town council perspective, we'll be bringing Juveria and Omar in front of council to be honored, as they should be.
As they should be.
Pretty remarkable, right?
Yeah.
You think of Whitby, it's not so small town anymore.
Yeah.
But they're like local celebrities.
But they deserve it.
And Juveria having her viewing parties at Oak North.
Yes.
We were into it.
Absolutely. I mean, we watch Jeopardy. My mom loves it, so we watch it at home too, kind of follow along with her, even though she's in Ottawa. But different level of excitement when your neighbor is on.
Oh, yeah, of
This
course.
is so exciting.
Especially as you're watching along and you're seeing the answers, and you're like, how?
Why do you know
So
this?
smart.
How do you
Like,
know this?
unless all the topics are obscure
I'll sit and
cartoons
have a
and
drink
video
with her.
games, I'm not going to do very well on something like that.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Although
I
I
could
was-
talk to her.
I was watching Celebrity Jeopardy yesterday, and I think they get off the hook a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll be on that one.
No, you walk away feeling
We'll work Okay, well, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was absolutely crazy. So crazy, in fact, that we realized that we couldn't contain it in a single episode.
What?
So we're splitting it in half. This was part 1. Stay tuned next week for part 2. You guys don't want to miss it.
No, you don't. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up in part 2 with Matt and Kyla. Can you believe it? We actually had to do 2 parts. It was that interesting.
It's crazy, yeah. So
Wow.
we hope you all look forward to it. Thank you all once again to everyone that took part in our draw this week. And remember, life's crazy. You can't change that, but we can talk about it.
And you know what, kid?
What?
We're just laughing through life with a mom and her son.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. And that's a wrap.
That's it.